Good afternoon. Welcome to the Unprofessional Professional Sports Podcast. I am BA, along here with Keith Ingle and Bo Crouch and James J. Train Martin. There he is. There he is.
Man, timing's perfect.
I hope everything is going well with you gentlemen this afternoon. We got so much sports news that happened in the last 3 days. Plus, we got the NBA Finals. We had the NHL Finals, Stanley Cup yesterday. That was a really good game. Unfortunately for Carolina, didn't end well for them. Well, let's get into before we get into the NBA Finals, talking about that. Football news, big football news. So the Cleveland Browns trade Myles Garrett to the Los Angeles Rams for Jared Verse, a first round, a second round, and a third round pick in successive years. This could change the course of how the NFC runs through. The Rams are already a Super Bowl favorite in the first place. You're adding arguably one of the best defensive ends in the game at this moment. Then you got Aaron Donald, who says, "Oh, you know what? I might want to come out of retirement." That's to be seen, but whatever. What do you guys feel about this? I mean, this is some big news. This is like a big trade.
Seismic. I mean, I was shocked to hear this. I think both. It seems like a trade that might help both teams in the long run. I like Jared Verse a lot myself. I have a little bit. He played here at Albany State before he went to Florida State, so actually saw him play here, and then you have a little affinity for some of those guys. But Myles Garrett is obviously still, at the top of his game, and they've got two guys now they added to that defense that are at the top of their games, and McDuffie and him, to an already pretty stout defense. So I don't know if you said favorites. I know they're a serious contender. I don't know if they're the favorites, but this might make them the favorites if they weren't already.
They were Vegas's pick for being Super Bowl.
And the Browns gain a couple of years. Even before they gain a couple of years with Verse, so and some draft picks that hopefully they won't screw up like they tend to do. And who knows? But certainly big for the Rams, huge for the Rams, obviously.
So I really like the trade for Los Angeles. I think Myles Garrett is still otherworldly. He's probably got maybe 2 or 3 good, more elite years as a pass rusher like that. But there's a but. I just don't think that I'm going to call them and give. I'm not going to crown their asses.
I'm not crowning their asses.
I just think that right now there's still the elephant in the room where there was an issue between Les Snead and Sean McVay and drafting a quarterback at number 13 instead of grabbing that wide receiver, Mekhi Lemon. And I think that may come back and bite them. Devontae Adams is kind of old, and he may show. I still like Devontae Adams, but I think does he give them enough to be elite to put them over the edge? Does Myles Garrett give them the ball enough to where they can right the wrongs, get third downs? I mean, Puka Nacua, legal issues. I mean, I know that the charges were dropped in regards to what was going on, him eating human flesh, I guess, whatever may have been going on there. But there's still some issues about whether or not he's going to get suspended, or I'm not sold on their wide receiver room. Let's just put it that way. To beat out Seattle. Seattle's still there. They just paid Rashid Shaheed money, and of course they have their offensive player of the year, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I don't know. I mean, I still, you got to give the crown to the guys who won it. Until then, regardless of what you added on to your roster, you still got to go out there and play with them. And I think Myles Garrett is great. And in the long run, like you said, Keith, I agree with you in regards to what Cleveland's doing as well. I've heard some panelists say that they're tanking. I disagree with Cleveland tanking right now. And there's no march for Arch yet because let Arch play and see what he does this year. We don't know who they're marching for.
Well, the Cardinals
just
are going
think
to win a game, so they're going to get Arch Manning probably.
right, exactly. So, but again, for me, I just don't think they're the favorites. I just need to see better offensive play.
It seems like they're inconsistent, right, James? And to me, going all in to get Myles Garrett and to get McDuffie, you're all in, but then you use the 13th pick not to help you at all this year. Not at all. And again, I understand they feel they need a quarterback and maybe they won't have a chance to pick one. You can pick one with the same potential this guy's got elsewhere, not number 13 in the first round. That's just my – and again, I know they have a plan. I know Brian disagrees with my take on this, and that's fine. That's just me. I don't have a monopoly on what's right? But it just seems weird. You're all in over here, but then here with the 13th pick in the draft, you're gonna hedge for the future. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I think that is actually a hedge for Stafford's back. I understand he won the MVP and he got through this last season unscathed, but I mean, he's had back issues over the last 5 years. And so I think some of that was trying to ensure that they have somebody in the room. Now, is he actually better than, the guy that they had in there?
Or other veterans, well, not just him. You could have gone out with other veterans, right? I mean,
yes, thank you. I was mind blanking his name. When they drafted the kid, they're like, oh, he has to battle for that second spot. So that doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. That being said, this move I think is great for both teams because you end up with, Myles Garrett coming for the last 2 years of Stafford, so they have their best shot. They're the odds-on favorite on paper, right? You still got to play all the games. But, on Cleveland's side, they get Jared Verse. He was the defensive rookie of the year, and then followed that up with a Pro Bowl season. So, I mean, you can't really hate on the talent that they got back. Then they get 3 picks, albeit the first rounder is going to be towards the end of the first round for all intents and purposes. But at the same time, this is a draft that's deep enough, not just at quarterback, just talent-wise, that you're going to be, 15 picks into the second round with first-round graded talent. So even having that last pick, if they happen to win it all, is still a valuable pick. So you pair that with the pick that they already had, then maybe you can move up and go get a quarterback because they have shown that they don't believe in any of the quarterbacks they have in the room. With Deshaun really winning that starting role at the moment, you have 2 guys you drafted last year. You can't take out a guy that really hasn't played good football in 5 years. That doesn't inspire a lot of confidence for who's in the building, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think in the Rams sense,
Ty Simpson, though.
Go ahead, Keith.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say, I mean, if Ty Simpson is your insurance against Stafford's back, you're not a Super Bowl contender if Ty Simpson's got to play significant time this year. You're not.
Oh, agreed.
You're not.
Agreed.
Maybe you're a contender. You're not a favorite.
I think it's less of he has to come in and finish the year and more of he has to come in and win a game or two. And I think you could probably do something like that with the amount of talent on that team. I don't know that Stetson Bennett does that because he hasn't played meaningful snaps in 3 or 4 years now.
No, they should have a veteran. They should have a veteran in that room is what they should have, even if he's on the practice squad somewhere.
There's this dude headed to CBS that might just be waiting for that phone call.
Yeah,
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson, yeah, sure.
Maybe Phil Rivers will come out of retirement again.
I think he said that was one and done.
Yeah.
I think he said that was one and done. He was just renewing his insurance for his, tribe of kids.
Right.
Well, we'll see. We'll see during the course of the year, the training camp, if he's going to be rising up on the depth chart. I mean, I'm sure he hasn't started off like that. He's got to compete for that second string. So with Stenson, I don't think that's going to be a push. I don't think that it's going to be too difficult for him to attain that. Stenson's not really been good in camp last year, so I don't know what's going to happen. But got to look at the Rams in this case. They only got like 3 players on their team that are old, really, because they relatively have a young nucleus. They got Avante Adams, of course, is the elder, along with Stafford, and now you have Garrett on there. But basically, the core is relatively young. So, in that case, I think the Rams, they're doing what any team should do if they want to win a Super Bowl. They're going for it now. They got a couple-year window that they feel that Stafford will beat him because his contract is there for 2 years. So, they might as well try to make the most of it and get him another Super Bowl ring. Not to say that will happen, but he has a good chance of doing that with a team that's built around him. So we'll see what happens in the course of the season. Of course, you got to always play the games.
Hence my lack of understanding, though, about the 13th pick. All those things, I agree with everything you just said there, which always backs up what I say and James said about the 13th pick. I don't get it because you didn't do anything there that's going to help you in that time frame you get just laid out. Nothing.
Yeah,
right. It doesn't say that you're all in. You're trying to make up. They blundered that situation, and clearly there was a disconnect between the coach and the GM on that pick. And I think Myles Garrett is kind of making up for that. That this is what Myles Garrett is doing for that, and so they're sort of all in. They're sort of all in.
A little bit pregnant, isn't it? I mean,
I think they did it because they just weren't used to having a first round pick. They're like, I don't know, I'd take the best available guy, I guess.
That's a great point. They didn't know how to do it. They never have
the Rams epitome of their whole thing is F them picks in the first place, which it works with some team. It works with this team particularly, and it works sometimes with Philadelphia too. All the teams that have been in the Super Bowls have made those advances in the off season to get themselves to that point. So it's the teams that don't, you kind of look at, I'm not going to say no names, lines, but anyway, the point of the matter is teams that do that and push ahead usually are the ones that do get that high road. So,
it's funny though, because if you do it and it works, like when the Rams won a few years ago, you look like a genius. And then if you do it and it doesn't pan out, like what the Saints did, sorry to bag on your team, but then you look like you are a fool, right? Because they gave away a ton of picks, they paid a lot of money, and then just nothing came of it. So I mean, it can go either way.
Well, what are you talking about with the Saints? What do you mean?
A few years ago when they were spending money with Carr and
oh yeah, for sure. So I thought you were talking about the Ricky Williams trade. Sorry.
No, not going that far back. But no, I mean, if you look about 5 years ago now, the Saints did something similar where they shoved a lot of picks out the door to acquire talent, and it just didn't work. And you don't hate on it because you're looking at it, you've seen it work, but then when it doesn't, you're like, wow, you not only did you mortgage the future, but nothing happened in the meantime. So, it's like going for it on fourth down. It's only dumb if it doesn't work.
But this situation, I think it is dumb because the guy that they picked at number 13 was not really projected to go at that high. And so
sure.
Maybe they know something you don't know, but if I'm wrong, you can prop me up here 20 years from now when he's going into Hall of Fame. You can
I just disagree. I disagree with that. I mean, I know you don't think so either because the coach clearly didn't want that pick. Right. He didn't want that pick.
Oh, that pick didn't make any sense. I was talking about giving the other picks away to go get Myles Garrett. But yeah, picking him 13 didn't make any sense to me either because I'm looking at Stafford having a 2-year window and you got a guy that may not make the roster in the next year or two.
Well, if that's the case,
I obviously don't have. I obviously don't have Ty Simpson as a high value target.
And most people don't. And I think it was obvious Sean McVay didn't either. Especially when he talked to him, he was like, "Oh, let's go win championships." He's like, yeah, okay, I'll see you when you get here, kid."
I mean, to be fair, he didn't say he was going to be the starter in those championships. So he's just along for the ride.
Yeah, he's a future has been basically.
Clipboard holder.
I mean, it's nepotism. Again, this is nepotism. The coach, the GM, Les Snead knows his father. He knows him very well, and they're good friends. And so, pretty much, he drafted him because he knows him. So, I mean, that's no one's talking about that, but that's really a big part of it.
Hey, if that's what gets me 13th overall money, I'm with it.
Oh, I'm not mad at Simpson. Yeah. I'm not mad at Simpson at all. Yeah.
Yep.
As long as they don't feel in the future that he has to play like a number one pick that they draft. And see, that's the problem with where players get picked.
Yep.
Like JJ McCarthy, for instance. Everybody, we picked him in number one and moved up to get him. He's not a number one pick quarterback. He may not even be number 2 or 3. So you know what I'm saying?
There's a distinct difference between the two situations. JJ McCarthy didn't walk into a scenario where he had a future Hall of Famer in front of him. So you don't have to worry about Ty getting forced into a starting position for the next 2 years unless Stafford gets hurt.
Well, he might be a future Hall of Fame. You never know, Sam Darnold. But it's hard to walk into a situation. It's hard to walk into a situation when you don't have a quarterback there in the first place because you've already traded him away. So,
Sam Darnold was better in college than this kid and Ty Simpson is. I mean, at USC, there's a reason they picked him number 3 overall. He's actually a legit quarterback. And I'm not trying to poo-poo on Ty Simpson here. I just think that I agree with the coach, and I thought that wasn't a good pick. And if that's not your mantra, meaning you throw your first round picks like money at the strip club, why would you change your situation, how you do things now? And then that when you do change, this is what you pick up. This is what you do with it. That's where it's like, okay, that's kind of goofy. It's goofy.
Not all dances are in the VIP.
They aren't.
I don't know exactly where you're going with this conversation. Don't stir that horse, okay? Don't do that.
Hey, you're already throwing dollars at the strip club. You're just keeping the analogy alive.
We also had another trade too. That was a big trade. That kind of got small in comparison to this one, but it was still a big trade, and it was one that was, everybody thought it was going to happen in the first place, just win, and that was AJ Brown to the Chiefs Patriots there for a first rounder and a fifth rounder, correct?
Correct. The first rounder in 28 and the fifth rounder next year. Yeah. I would like to have got away with a second rounder, but I mean, chances are that's going to be close to the second round anyway. It's going to be very late in the first round, most likely. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, if it's not, then this trade's not working out anyway. So
does that give Rossini her job back? Because she was on this first and was 100% right.
I think it's more about how she got the story than actually having it right.
Oh my goodness.
But this is good for the Patriots. I mean, they needed that number one guy. They haven't had it. Booty has stepped up, and I do know how to spell his name. I just couldn't spell it right the other night. But it's unfortunate that they may be getting ready to move him, because I had found out, and I know James said they hadn't heard about him trying to move him. I hadn't heard about it until the last week or so, that they spent that week trying to move him, and now he's not in the voluntary OTAs. So there's some issues there, and he's coming up on his new contract. This is his contract year, And the Patriots have a history of moving on from guys before they got pay them. And if that room is now much deeper than what it was before, and they probably feel they can move on because he's a little redundant.
Is he under contract or no?
He has 1 year left. His rookie contract.
They can trade him out. Somebody's gonna, man. If he's available, some team's gonna want him. I mean, I could see Kansas City reaching out for a guy like that.
He really made great strides last year.
Yeah.
And played really well. And it's a shame. I really wanted to see him mature and become a star in this league in New England. And it looks like it may not happen. With bringing Brown and Dobbs in, he's moved down the depth chart already. And they're pretty deep outside of that. Not tremendous talent at the end, but serviceable players who know their roles. So I don't know what's going to happen with Booty, but bringing Brown in here makes a huge difference. Gives Drake May that number one target. Dobbs is a nice pickup, but he's not AJ Brown if he's at the top of his game. But is he AJ Brown from 4 years ago or not?
Keith, letting go of Booty would be just straight booty.
Yeah, but I think it's silly.
I think he's talented. I think that I saw him at LSU. He's a great receiver. Like you said, he's made strides, but he would be technically, I think, the number 3. He would be the number 3 receiver, and he probably wants number 2, number 1 money. So
that's the
rub.
Problem. So that is absolutely the rub. And Brown will be good. You know what? You get a good year. All these guys, the divas, right? He's going to go there and he's going to be on his best behavior. He's got a good relationship with the coach, which makes a big difference. And he's got somebody other than Jalen Hurts throwing the ball to him, which is going to make a big difference as well, I think, in his mind. So.
Oh, man. Drake May. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, my man.
Oh, I was just going to say the honeymoon period is real, right?
Yeah,
like all these guys can be pretty solid for a season.
Yep.
Drake May is salivating right now. He's got a bona fide number 1 wide receiver in the room that's ball dominant, and once he's going to feed him. He's going to feed him the ball. Mark my words. This is going to be, barring no injuries, he's probably going to be a 1,300, 1,400 yard receiver, maybe 10 touchdowns. This is going to be like a T.O. moment when he first got to the Eagles and with Donovan McNabb. It's going to be similar to that. I think he's going to have about 14, 15 touchdowns and maybe 1,400 yards and maybe 100 receptions, because he's going to be clamoring for the ball, considering he didn't get it when he was in with the Eagles.
And to Robert's previous comment about, him being a cancer, look, I heard the same thing about Stephon Diggs. And as Bo said, they come in, he's going to be on his best behavior the first year, at least. He's got a coach that he at least respected previously, and they have got a pretty good relationship. So look at a lot of times the culture of the team will dictate whether these guys are going to become a cancer or be allowed to become a cancer. And I don't think the culture on this team is going to cultivate that. I don't think AJ Brown, the Eagles, there's a different culture there than there is in Foxborough. It just is. And that's not to say it may not develop, but I don't.
Different kind of coach too. I mean, Vrabel is more of that old school.
Yeah.
Like, won't put up with it. I mean, Vrabel and Dan Campbell always come to mind when it's a no nonsense kind of atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like they like their players, right? But they are not shy about disciplining bad behavior.
Yes, they're kind of an anomaly today, right, Bo? I mean, because they are player-friendly coaches, Vrabel specifically, but he does know how to, put the hammer down when he needs to and get his point across. So that's a fine line, and not a lot of coaches pull it off very well. He does it very well.
I'm pretty sure he knows how to put the hammer down in more ways than one, and very well.
I knew it was coming.
I teed you up there. You're welcome.
Got that fish on the lure, man. Got that fish on the lure.
We didn't get terribly unprofessional for like 25 minutes. That's a record.
Just wait. Anyway. So moving on from football, we are going to hit the NHL playoffs real quick, or the Stanley Cup final, should I say. Yesterday, the Hurricanes lost to the Golden Knights 5-4 on Tomas Hertl's goal with 3:24 left in the game at ice. It was a really good, entertaining game, though.
Great game.
Between these two, they both like to jump on teams early, and that's what Carolina actually did. They jumped down 2-0, and then this Vegas. Just when you count Vegas, you say, Vegas they're gonna have to lose a game in a form, and they never. It's the fight is not out, and they're playing probably their best hockey at the right time. And I tell you, this is what happens. This is what happens in hockey. You get a team that's playing the best hockey at the right time. They're going to probably win the Stanley Cup.
They grind, and they're very physical, right? And that's a bad matchup for, I think, the way the Hurricanes play hockey. And this is this could be the ultimate John Tortorella season, right? He takes over with 8 games left. He leads them to a Stanley Cup, and then he gets fired in the offseason. That would be the exclamation point on Tortorella's career, I think, because he is just like, he's mercurial. He's like Billy Martin. I keep comparing him to Billy Martin in baseball, and he's the same way. He burns bright, and he's dynamic out of the box, and he invariably wears out his welcome. But they're playing great, gritty hockey.
Well, you also got to keep in mind that this Vegas team has a ton of playoff experience, right? I mean, they go deep every year, and the Hurricanes are a great team, no question, and play great defense. So they'll limit the amount of shots that Vegas will get. Vegas just has a habit of hitting. So I think this is going to be a great series. A lot of people were predicting the Hurricanes to just roll through Vegas, but I think this one goes the distance.
Early, it looked like they would, right? Down 2-0. I'm thinking Vegas is not getting back in this game last night. Maybe a little momentum broken, but they proved me wrong. They played well. I just like the mojo coming from this team, and since Tortorella took over.
Oh yeah.
I picked the Hurricanes. I'm gonna stick with the Hurricanes.
You're just afraid of Sonia's wrath. That's all.
Maybe you should be too, sir.
I didn't say it wasn't smart, James. I am afraid. That's why I'm locked in the basement here, for crying out loud.
I am. I'm going with Carolina too.
The internet gangster up there.
Yeah. Yeah,
what you say? You're gonna go with Carolina? Yeah, for sure.
In 7, yeah, because I kind of like Carolina. To tell you the truth, I love their head coach. Their head coach is really good too. Where Keith has a good point about Vegas's coach as well. Tortorella he's a great coach. He is really a good coach. But I just hey. If two teams are going to win it, that necessarily don't need to have hockey teams in their series. I'd rather it be Carolina,
right?
Have Las Vegas. But anyway, so I'm going with them in 7. All right, so moving. And by the way, just real quick, who do you got seeing winning the second game? You think Carolina's going to bounce back?
Yeah, I think so. 1-1.
Okay, yeah, I do too. All right, so now the point that we all want to get to is the NBA Finals starts tonight in San Antonio. Now, there's a mixed review of how people are looking at this series in this first game. People have New York winning the game because of the fact that San Antonio just came off a 7-game series. The Knicks are well rested. And other people have the Spurs winning because they're younger. They have the energy to carry over from the 7-game series, and we don't know what the Knicks are being off that layoff. Now I know, Keith, that you, of course, you're a Knicks fan, and that's fine. Whatever.
Wow, that's fine.
That's all right. Anyway,
oh, man. Give me a letter over here or something, man.
Yeah. and you have them going at 6. They think they're going to win the first game, the Knicks?
I would expect them to be a little maybe sloppy early, but they were against Cleveland early too, and they came back and won that first game. So,
you're not doing that against the Spurs. Like
no.
That collapse. That collapse wasn't just the fourth quarter of the first game. That set the tone for the rest of that series. Like,
absolutely.
They were never the
series. So remember, don't forget, by analytics, they swept the series according to Kenny Atkinson. So it's amazing.
I mean, there is that crazy also. So
you know how you keep your job after that. But I do expect the Knicks maybe to be a little rusty tonight. We'll see. But I also think it's possible that the Spurs are either or both a little bit fatigued and worn out because they had a tough 7-game battle with the Sonics, or I mean the Thunder. Sorry.
See, that's rude.
I'm sorry.
That's a way to draw the ire of both.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. I was rooting for them to lose because as a Sonics fan, you want OKC to lose every game possible.
I'm sure. I know it's too soon for that type of joke. I'm sorry. But they had that tough series.
I mean, it is almost 20 years now. So
a little fatigue and also maybe a little, exhale, right? And a sense of relief that we got past this series. And maybe they start off a little slow. So I'm not sure what to expect tonight. I think it could be a little bit of a sloppy game in the first half. And I expect this to be a 7-game series anyway. So if the Knicks lose to in San Antonio, I'm not going to tell you that they're out of the series, because when they get back to Madison Square Garden, regardless of what they can be up 2-0, they can be down 2-0. That atmosphere is going to be something that the Spurs have seen before. It's going to be electric in Madison Square Garden. I'm excited.
So the main thing you're watching for is Spike Lee versus Wemby. Is that what we're doing?
Yes. That hasn't always worked out well with Spike Lee. I mean, if you remember Reggie Miller scoring like 100 points in 30 seconds against the Knicks that beat him. So anyway, maybe they'll keep Spike out of the building. Might be a good idea. I don't know, but it's gonna be fun. I expect. I don't know what to expect tonight. Quite frankly, I really don't, because of all those different narratives that I kind of just laid out there. So I mean,
I expect
what I'm happy.
I expect the under. I expect both teams to be sloppy, like you said. And since Vegas has it at 118.5, I'm going to go with the under. That both teams are sloppy in their own rights, and it'll go down as a defensive battle, but it'll really just be sloppy play.
Yeah,
I'm going to go different. I think that San Antonio, they had their hardest matchup, and I don't think they're going to underestimate the Knicks either. I think if they did underestimate, that's where they would fail and lose this series. At home, you can see these guys are dangerous. I mean, they're very dangerous. They're young. That's the crazy thing about it, is they're inexperienced. They only have up to go, because they're still learning. And I think that
coaches
biggest, yes, that part right there. I think if I had to get a coaching edge, I would have to give it to Mike Brown and how he's been playing the Knicks and how they look a lot better. And again, we mentioned this at the beginning of the season, talking about the Knicks and or when Tibbs got fired, they have to get to the championship. And I got to give kudos to Mike Brown as a head coach. He got this team over the hump, and with virtually the same staff or the same players. That being said, Wemby is going to be the deciding factor here. I know Knicks play fast. Wemby's not a fast player. He gets winded. Windy Yamba. Instead of Wemby, yeah. He gets a little tired. But that being said, man, do I expect a 40 and 24 out of him? I think the first game he might try to lay the gauntlet down again. And I like the San Antonio Spurs tonight at home. But again, and did you guys get the email from Jack?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is he on the fence like that? Why is he changing his mind so quickly? I
Because
don't
I
know.
convinced him, I think that.
I was going to say, did you have him in a chokehold or something up there?
Not while he was typing it, no. But I tried to put him in chokehold Monday morning, tell him he's,
You probably got some naked pictures of him or something.
Listen, I think. I don't think anybody really wants to see those.
Yeah, I don't think that's a threat right there.
Man, I can't believe you. Jack, if you're out there,
Sorry.
please don't do it.
We love you, Jack.
Jack's going to hate this, and you guys are going to think I'm nuts. But last night, I watched an old episode of the Dick Cavett show. That's a bad thing to say, I guess, right off the bat. I'm a YouTube freak, and I find these things. But he's got Jim Brown and Lester Maddox on. Lester Maddox, the former governor of Georgia, was probably a bigot, but he was claiming he wasn't that night.
I saw that episode.
If I could find, did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Does Lester Maddox look like Jack, or is it just me?
No comment.
I could not see Jack Hirsch. I'm sorry, Jack. I'm sorry. I really am. But oh my God. Anyway, I'm off.
Because Jack is the furthest thing in the world from a bigot. And
no. I don't mean.
No, I know you know that, but I'm just saying. The irony is that you say he looks like this dude.
Like, it's like I'm doing a show with Jack here, watching Jack Cavett or Dick Cavett from 60 years ago. Sad I'm watching that.
Catching strays from
I didn't
everybody.
expect James to saw that episode of Dick Cavett.
Well, I like Jim Brown, so I watch pretty much anything that he's on, and I saw that episode. Yeah, for sure. Jim Brown held his own. He held his own in that conversation.
He was so restrained too in that whole thing, and he kept giving Lester Maddox these little shots that were hilarious. I thought. Anyway, I've driven the show into the ditch. I apologize, Brian.
That's all right. We have shovels. We'll dig ourselves back out.
It's cute.
Think?
It's cute. You think that's the direction we'd be shoveling?
Down? Yeah.
Yes.
Not up.
What? Once we start, we just keep going.
So I also had the San Antonio winning this game. I think it's just the fact that the Knicks are going to be a little bit rusty. I think that people are making a real big deal of the 7-game series that the Spurs came off of. But remember, they're the youngest team in the NBA. Those are fresh legs every day. So this is what I see that might happen during the season. During the series, that the youth is because you got a lot of veterans on New York, and they can get wore down just as bad. So we'll see.
I think it's more of the relief factor of getting through that last series than actual fatigue.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's my point. To piggyback on what you just said, Bo, one thing you can't give a young, vibrant team is just confidence. And that I think the confidence has been built up by beating the champions, the reigning champions. And I think, again, these are the two best teams that were in the league. And so I'm not saying taking anything away from the Knicks, Keith. I think they're great. I think they've done all they could. Stephen A. Smith thinks they're going to win in 6-2 as well. You think they're going to win tonight? I just respectfully disagree with that. I just think that this team, you're giving these youngsters a lot of confidence, and they're going to go. They're not going to underestimate the Knicks at all. I just think they're going to come in and show them what they can do. And I just think there's a lot. I mean, and they have everybody on deck. They have everybody. OKC didn't have everybody on deck. But one, I will have to say, if you're going to defend Wemby, the best you need to put OG Anunoby on him. I don't know if they're going to do that.
Yeah, they will at some point. They're going to rotate probably Robinson, Cat, and Anunoby.
Right.
I was going to say, Cat is probably the guy that's going to spend the most time on it.
And he's got to stay out of foul trouble. It's going to be easy to get in foul trouble defending Wemby, and that's a problem for the Knicks. And I think that's one of the reasons they'll keep him away from him a little bit here and there. Anyway,
I was going to say, if Cat's on him, then this falls into the hands of the Spurs, because he's probably one of the least. He's probably their weakest defender. Even though he's a big. I think, like you said, Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby will probably be your better defenders to be on him.
his effect on Wemby, I think, is going to come more on the offensive end, where he's going to
Right.
pull him away from the basket and open up that lane for the other guys to get to the basket a little more, I think. So
Absolutely.
I think another thing too, to James' point about San Antonio taking New York lightly. I don't think there's really any teams that would take a New York team lightly, because New York fans, sorry, Keith, you guys are a boisterous bunch. You talk a lot of smack, and I mean, you're loud with it. So I don't think San Antonio is going to be able to ignore that whole situation. So it's
Honestly, if they do overlook them, that's not on the team, that's on the coach, because you'd be overlooking a team that is shooting 60% from the field for the last 11 games. Like, I don't know how you overlook something like that anyway. Like, you got to come with it, because they are hitting baskets just out of their mind at the moment.
Spurs defense is a bit. I think you saw that they're better. I think they're better than advertised, because it's not just Wemby. Some of those guys do. Castle's a really good defender, and Brunson's going to have his hands full with him most likely a lot.
That's who Brunson's going to. He's going to have Castle on him.
Yeah, I would probably say that San Antonio's defense is probably the best defense that the Knicks has faced in this playoffs.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, in the playoffs for sure. Yeah, no question.
All right. So next question is, who do you think is going to be the game changer in this series? Who do you got as a game changer? Who you got as a game changer, Keith?
OG all the way. This guy, I think on both ends of the floor, this guy can be a game changer. If he matches up against Wemby on defense, he's their best defensive player by far in my mind. And I think you saw a little bit of what he can do when he's unleashed a little bit on offense in this playoff too. So he's a guy that I keep an eye on.
I think this series goes as Wemby goes. When Wemby is playing well, Spurs win. If he has an off night, Knicks win.
I'm with you on that one.
My game changer is the guy that played in Game 7, De'Aaron Fox for San Antonio. I just think that he made a huge difference in regards to, if he didn't play, I think we're talking about a different team playing in the NBA Finals.
Yep. And
so he made veteran leadership and made some key shots and steals down the stretch. And that's what they're going to need for him. If he gets hurt, that would be a big loss for them in this series. But if he's playing, and he's probably getting shots on that ankle, as we speak right now, he's going to be a big difference for them. And if I had to go to the other side, I would say OG Anunoby too as well, Keith.
I'm going to go to the bench on this one, because the bench is going to come into key in this series sooner or later. I like Calvin Johnson for the Spurs. Dude, he comes in there. He's been in 3 games where two of the games he's actually basically turned it around for the Spurs when the Spurs were kind of like in no man's land and stuck in the mud. He comes in there. He's got the grit. He goes right to the basket. He can shoot the timely 3. He's a very good defender as well. He's obviously not a starter, but the fact that he can come off the bench and give you those minutes and get the team back on track again is going to be very important in this series too. Because like he's been into the 3 games I saw him in, one was a loss, but that was like far cry. They're going to win that game anyway. But the other 2 games, it was where San Antonio, they put him in when San Antonio was kind of stuck in the mud. And it was between, hey, we got to get some motivation going on with this team so we can continue to get this, keep this lead or get this lead back and go on and win this game. And he came right in there and did his job. So I think the benches are going to be important in this game too. I think San Antonio Spurs got a better bench than the Knicks. And that's saying something, because the Knicks got a better bench this year. They do got a better bench this year. But I just don't think they're better than the Spurs. So
the bench has been, the bench gets a lot of talk in New York, but it's a bit inconsistent as well. I mean, Alvarez might be really good or horrible on a given night. Shamat's probably been the most consistent guy there, and they haven't got a lot out out of the guy that gave them the most in the regular season, Clarkson. They haven't got a lot out of him in the playoffs, really. I like the Spurs bench a lot better than I like the Knicks bench at this point, with Harper and Johnson coming off that bench specifically. So,
yeah, well, and you got to look at it like this too, Keith. I don't think the Knicks really had to worry about too many games that they had to worry about the bench playing well because they were just destroying people. So it is what that is. Okay, so other news that we have going on right now. Michael Parsons says he's aiming to be back by mid-October. So good for him. Warrant issued for Brandon Ayuk over misdemeanor speeding charge. This dude, boy, I tell you.
Well, why is there a warrant for something that happened in December? Why is there a warrant for something that happened in December?
It was caught. I think it was caught on camera, actually. And you know how they look at everything. You're not out of any camera reach anymore. So
right.
If they say, "Oh, wait a minute,"
if they mail you a ticket and you don't respond in time, which a lot of these guys won't, you end up with a bench warrant. So
yep, that's most likely what happened.
Yeah. But they're looking for a guy that gave up $40 million too. So I mean,
he's got money. He's whatever he's got. I don't even know if he's got a couple of dollars, but anyway. Trent Williams mulling over retirement. This after the deal he just signed with the Niners. So he gets up there and says, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, I might retire." I'm sure San Francisco was thrilled at that whole thing.
Somebody's
weird timing.
I don't understand.
Yeah, it is weird timing. Yeah, it is. Very.
I don't know. Maybe you don't want to face. He's towards the twilight of his career. He don't want to face that monster that's coming twice. Yes, exactly.
That news conference did come out after Garrett was signed.
So that might be a business decision.
They also have to contend with Seattle's defense that was a top unit also. So that's 4 of your games getting beat up. So I mean, I guess I kind of get it.
Maybe he's want to get some of that money back.
If you guys are into Madden, I know Keith probably don't know anything about this too much.
He's dead, isn't he? John Madden's dead.
Well, yes, he is. But his sports,
couple years ago,
his video game lives on. Caleb Williams is on the cover of Madden 27. First Chicago Bear ever to be on the cover. Which is saying,
well, he better hope that Madden curse doesn't hit him because it tends to be kind of a real thing.
Yeah, sometimes, yes. It can be good to some players and bad to others, that's for sure. Mostly bad to others.
Exactly.
Okay. Drake London gets signed by the Falcons to a 4-year, $150 million contract extension. That was the teammate of Amon St. Brown. It's good to see him get paid.
$100 million guaranteed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is it gonna make a difference for Atlanta though?
Yeah, kind of. They got Zachariah Branch. They drafted who his charges were dropped recently for whatever happened in Athens. Some misdemeanor stuff. So Atlanta just drafted the bad boys. They're the dirty birds for real.
Right.
I think $100 million guaranteed. I think he's been good. His career has been ascending. Let's just put it that way. I think he's been ascending. So I think he's not going to just lay over and just quit since he's gotten paid. I think he's good. Yeah, this is speaking from a Saints fan. So he's a really good threat to continue to be in the top 5, top 10 wide receivers in the league. So yeah, he got his money. And that's just that's the going rate. I think Chris Olave is next, with the Saints. I think he's about to get paid the same amount, maybe $1 million or $2 million more. So it's just what it is.
So I got a question for you guys. So the Giants, they signed 3 veteran receivers, And people are talking about it because it's Juju and OBJ and all that. And the thing they're not talking about, which was the first question that popped into my head, is this lingering Neighbors injury worse than they're letting on when you go and sign 3 guys after the June 1st designation? I mean, it makes you feel like this injury is worse than they're indicating, because otherwise, why would you go sign every veteran available?
The New York media has been all over this, and the Giants have really been deflecting whether they think Neighbors is going to be ready to start the season, at least. So
yeah, I mean, it sounds like he's not.
Right.
So that's
right.
the thing that's worrisome.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, Mo. I think there's more there.
That's a legitimate question. I think that people close to the Giants organization also said that Neighbors is not as close as people think he is to returning to the field.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, he had more than just an ACL, right? He had an MCL as well, or something.
He had both.
Yeah.
Well, he also had to have something cleaned up. So like something didn't fit right, or something wasn't quite right with the procedure. So there was a cleanup procedure also.
That's usually
which
meniscus,
slows the timeline. Yeah, it slows the timeline down. But now they're talking about potentially not being back in time for the beginning of the season. You're like, okay, well, that doesn't mean anything. These timelines are always kind of fungible. But then you go and sign 3 veterans on basically the same day. You're like, okay, there might be something more here.
And to say they signed OBJ, to me, it seems like they're desperate. So I kind of agree with you in regards to that. They usually, when you have an ex-girlfriend, you don't go back to her, especially when they're older and
sat out a year.
Yeah,
out a year.
Right, exactly. So I just think it's kind of odd that he came in and they, I'm thinking. I mean, he even said he's still got to make the team, but I mean, I think he's going to make the team. And what is he, 33 now? I think he's 33, somewhere around there.
Sounds right.
And so, yeah, usually his game was based on his speed and his ability to run excellent routes. So we'll see if he's any good anymore. He's decent enough. They hired him, but I think they might be desperate, like you said, Bo. So yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be ready at some point during the season. He just may not be ready at the start of the season. In Malik Neighbors.
I mean, really, who do they have behind Neighbors, though?
Well, you got the rookie.
Aspect.
Yeah, you got the rookie Malachi Fields. You have Juju Smith-Schuster, which I'm.
No.
There's that.
I like Juju as Juju as a third option is great.
Right. Exactly.
Or if you need a quick TikTok video.
They do have Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney is an underrated wide receiver there. So he's probably going to be their number 2, and I think OBJ will probably be the number 3, and then of course Malachi Fields may be the number 4. Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame is a bit of an underrated receiver.
I like that pick for them. I think he's going to be a player.
Yes, I think so too.
So they actually signed another veteran as well. The name's escaping me at the moment. Obviously, I can't look it up. But they signed 3 veterans. So you ended up with OBJ, Juju, and
Barrios.
Yes, there we
Braxton
go.
Berrios. Yeah, we all talked about that on our feed, and it was kind of funny. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's crazy. They're just like, we will take every receiver. And the way that they're doing this, that's why I was like, man, this Neighbors may not be back as soon as we were hoping.
Usually the teams that do the most obvious thing is because of the obvious reason. Just like the Philadelphia Eagles drafting wide receiver to take basically take the place of the number 2 position, while Devontae goes to the number 1 because they know they're going to trade AJ Brown, sometime in the next time frame. Those things are just obvious. So, as well as the Giants are trying to hide the whole situation, I think it's a bit obvious that they know that Neighbors is not going to be ready for game 1 of next season or this season. So,
I just,
a little bit.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say, I don't have a problem with their wide receivers. I just think that I'm still not sold on their running back situation. And I was never really sold on Cam Scatterboo and a slow running back that has a severe leg injury. To me, I just think that he's not going to be, as good as people want him to be. And I think that they should have did something like upgrade their situation in their draft. I don't know if they did or not. Bo, if they got any better running backs?
They did.
I don't think
No,
so.
no. They, I mean, Scadaboo's best trait was the fact that he's just crazy, right? I mean,
right.
The guy's like, I run through drywall for practice. It's like, okay, I mean, CTE is real, so maybe less of that.
I think he's a player. I think he's as good as what you saw him at his best last year, but he's not going to stay on the field because he's going to get hurt.
Right. It worked in college. He was a great college player. I mean, Arizona State got as far as they did when he was on the team because of him. I just thought that, yes, it's that type of play doesn't work in the NFL. It doesn't work for a long time. You won't have a long career. That's why the quarterback has to stop bashing his head against everything.
Exactly. I was just going to say, they need to get in the dart there and say, hey, buddy, lead with your feet, not your legs. Okay. I mean, not your head. Okay. That'll help you out a little bit,
They've got
that kind of go into our unprofessional segment here.
I mean, speaking of that, who wins the job for Atlanta? Since both guys like to get hurt.
Oh, yeah. I like Tua, honestly. I think Tua is, as long as you put players around him, which Atlanta has players around him.
I think
Tua is he's an elite quarterback when he has players around him. You saw it at Alabama. He had phenomenal talent around him. You saw it in Miami when he had phenomenal talent around him. When things start to slip is when you don't have a good offensive line. And Tua is out of space somewhere because he's got concussions.
Yeah, his fundamentals break down. I think fundamentals break down when things go bad. But he's better than Michael Penix, though.
In open space.
Oh yeah. That's
in open space. That's where you worry about Tua is him taking himself out.
Yeah.
Right. But this coach is he's a coach that gets the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly. And Tua is that type. That's the reason why they brought him in, because he's that type of quarterback. He processes well, and he can get the ball out of his hand with a drop back read in 2 or 3 seconds, so it's gone. So, and you have the talent there. You have the wide receivers there. You have the running back there, which Tua didn't really have. I mean, Devon A-Chain was decent, but he's not Bijan Robinson, man. So, I mean, Tua's Atlanta. I think they might, with Stefanski, they're going to surprise a lot of people. I've been saying that about Atlanta the whole time because they're so talented, and I've been burned by them. Yes, exactly. I've been burned, but I think Stefanski, a 2-time coach of the year, has an offense that's legit, and I think they're going to do something with it.
I agree.
Team.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta in theory is going to play the way we've all thought they should play the last.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
got cut off.
on that note,
sorry guys, got a phone call in the middle of that.
Yeah.
It's okay.
On that note, though, we will bid you adieu.
Sorry about that.
You're good, bro. You're good. But we'll bid you adieu until next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look out for Keith next. He is on there with the Huddle. TGI Sports Huddle, college huddle, as it may. And everybody have a great rest of your week. Watch these games. Watch these finals. Watch the Stanley Cup. Watch baseball. Watch all the sports, damn it. Anyway, just watch.
WNBA in an hour and a half.
That's it. Peace, everybody.
See you guys.